periodically, the FBI record vault will put up some fascinating stuff. I mean, you'll see investigations into the UFOs out there. You'll see Bigfoot, I believe. You'll see cattle mutilations and on. And you'll also see 3 hours ago, GAMERGATE. That's right, GAMERGATE. There's 500 plus pages within that too. Much of it's redacted, but some of it's about people that, well, you might not think would be in there. Fascinating stuff. So hey there. So today I want to return to that wonderful world of records. And this is GAMERGATE, part 1 of 1. Now again, you can see the way that this is set up. There are deleted pages within it, but we were talking about an investigation with this that goes through 526 pages. A lot of it, again, like I said, is deleted there, but you see things like complaints that are filled out online, follow-ups for it, and you can tell who's being discussed in some of this. Like I said, some of it is absolutely fascinating, and it's not aimed at the people that you might think. It's actually aimed at, well, it's just aimed. So, before we get into this, though, if you like this kind of content, want to help us with our interactions, sub to the channel, share videos, like, comment. That stuff helps, too. Actually, just saying interaction out there, saying I'm investigating, good stuff like that. Also, if this stuff gives you a headache, you think, my God, I need a drink, leaving it playing for a few minutes, that helps out, too. We also have a comic book. The same type of mentality that triggered this discussion out there, it's triggered other discussions, including comic books. We put out our own thing because you can either give money to the same companies, you can walk away from the mediums you love, or you can create viable alternatives. We created one. People went absolutely insane, and well, it's only around 2 more days before we start going into our print cycle. Want to help us send that message out there? Thank you, and thanks for listening to my spiel. So, GAMERGATE, part 1 of 1. Now, I found this document to be fascinating because you can see how it comes together. And of course, most of these documents look like this. They look like redacted notes. You're going to see interviews. They're going to be redacted from. You can piece together certain things like offices that actually have evidence. There are other field notes that are put together. You can see what people are looking into as well. Twitter screenshots, for example. Now, when you go through this too, you start noticing certain trends within it. And I find a lot of this stuff fascinating. Unsubs too. I also, from Criminal Minds, I'm an investigator as well. I know exactly what they're talking about there. It's interesting though. You see title, overt threat, for example, and when you go through, you can see investigation notes, date of birth, address, email, why, who is this? Do you know why you're getting threats? How long has this been going on? Do you know who's the person of interest? And so on. All of this stuff there. Like I said, there's so many different things that have been noted, even with all of the redaction. It's really fascinating. You get into the electronic items too. You can see the complaints. And some of the complaints, you can't tell who they're about. Some of them you can. This, for example, don't know who this is about. Describe in your own words how you've been victimized. An individual on Twitter under the name of blank with an account blank has tweeted, what kind of images at me again? Oh yeah, this person has tweeted blankety blank, 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 blank. So you see how that goes. You have other ones that when you roll forward, you can also see the kind of complaints that they have. And these are over people that I don't really have an expectation to see in all of this stuff. I personally have not lost anything, but around 7,000 people have been scammed by this woman. Who do you think that's about there? She put up a blank. She was supposed to blank. However, she is yet to do so. Last time she updated anything was back in August, and I fear that she may have run off with the money. She received blank. 4 months is plenty enough time to do research, blank, but there has been nothing. It's very likely she scammed everyone that supported her. Please take justice upon her. Please take justice upon her. Oh, I love this stuff. This is, like I said, it's fascinating to look at. Can you imagine working with the FBI and seeing this stuff too? Let's see, here's another one. I have not personally been affected in any way by blank's actions. I've simply stumbled across an enormous volume of evidence which indicates his involvement with the following. Raising funds for a company with which he serves as blank, although when questioned, he typically denies presenting it as such. The contest associated with blank seems incredibly suspect. To the best of my ability to determine, most, if not all, contestants do not here to actually exist, and the blank-based company. Money is being collected for blankety blank, grossly representing his organization, while claiming to be funding a blank, openly supporting, if not spearheading, the group originally organized through blank and currently through blank to terrorize an increasingly long list of victims, beginning with blank, and since proceeding to encompass blank and others. Efforts to locate contact information on victims is coordinated by the group via image boards, originally hosted on blank, now on blank and through blank. Victims, as well as their families, have been facing a torrent of harassment and abuse, mostly involving threats of blankety blank. Surprisingly candid about all of these matters. He clearly links himself to the group mentioned above and openly admits members as this source of the majority of his funding through his fundraiser page. Boom. All information pointing to the fraudulent nature of his fundraisers come from either the fundraising page itself, citing his company, blank, as an outside company, and an outstanding number of incriminating posts he himself has been made on associating blogs. So you can see how this comes together. Again, oh my gosh, look at these crazies. Look at these people who are going out and trying to knock this out. You know, are there witnesses of this crime? You know, the only contestant associated with blank, publicly known only as blank, would appear to be reachable through the following Twitter handle, although I cannot confirm this to be the case. Victims of the hate group blank clearly support and may himself be a member of having been facing mass harassment, may have fled their homes, cut off communications via phone or email. I have no personal contact or connection with any of these individuals, but many seem to be maintaining a presence on Twitter with the following handles: blankety blank, blankety blank, 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 blank. So it gives you an idea, like I said, the way that these things come across. You know, the user blank threatened to take the life of prominent internet blogger blank at blank. Here is a link to the thread. Blank. Oh, man. Like I said, can you imagine? This is utilizing FBI resources to talk about all of this. Titles for this investigation: GAMERGATE. So it actually has its own investigation title when you're going into that. When you're looking at all of these notes. Title: GAMERGATE. Original interview of blank. You can see that all cut out here too. Like I said, I would love to know, you know, experience blank, what's happening. Oh, notice 8chan.com. I fled Twitter, publish blank. I got a tweet from blank. So you can still see a lot of what happened. I did blank after the threat. Blankety blank comes to me. Another story I was doing. I knew that I was doing it. He was scared of subject, and so on. So, I mean, like I said, you see the notes through this. The synopsis, too, you know, for title, what thread again? You know, this is being conducted because of reporting by blank on blank username on internet blogging circus, inquiring about requisitioning blank along with thoughts and messages of, well, you know, we'll just say self-ending. Also advise blank, 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 blank. The authorized purpose and objective of this blank is determined the credibility of, you know, what is seen where, what kind of criminal, you know, background there is in that, and so on. You know, with this too, I've attached a screenshot in case it gets suspended or deleted before you see it there. I mean, like I said, we're already halfway through everything here. You see how heavy all of this stuff has been redacted. But the breadcrumbs, the morsels, you know what they do? They leave me very, very hungry. So I have what I think is probably some extremely actionable something for you, though I am just a citizen and not in a position to do anything. This afternoon, I was contacted by someone who wishes to remain anonymous, though if you need his details, I would be willing to bet they're there with you. The person is not a something, but see, it's hard to read some of this because it's so blurry. But you can see like the context here. You see them talking about how there's private information being garnered on people and there's doxing going on and so on. And yeah, there are wonderful people out there that do all this all the freaking time too. Amazing how, again, all of this stuff where these interviews and investigations are coming through. So we pulled advertising from blank over the blogs because of us supporting blank. We are big into supporting diversity. CFO sat down with blank, discussed the personal attention to our stand at supporting of blank on October 2014. So you see what's CEO talking about, a $300,000 pledge. So like I said, when you look at the life block that's listed there, attempted to open an account using his social security number, working on women's issues, received threats, letters at her house, blank diversity. So like I said, this stuff, there's so much of it. Federal courthouse there. Like it makes you wonder what's situated in that. Here's a beginning forward message. You will, when you get to Australia. From, who's that from there? Reply to, you will when you get to Australia. The name is the same thing. I will. You see that threat there? With something attached to my chest? When you come to Australia, you something, mail something. Oh, Lord. People are so nutty. Also, you get people that want to troll, that do all this stuff. You get all of those fancy little edgelords that pop up. Edgelords just cringe me the heck out. They really, really do. So this is a repeated offense. A person who goes by this is also an electronic filing in. A person who goes by the Twitter hashtag handle of blank, who finds the personal addresses of people involved in Gamergate discussions on Twitter. This person blankety blank. This person also has a large list of blank. So you can see that. And again, doxing, you'll find out that there is cyber harassment out there. People can actually get in trouble for stuff like that. But doxing, yeah, the FBI doesn't care. Like nobody's going to care about it. It's a very fascinating thing. It makes you wonder about this idea of moral high ground. And once you get with staying on the moral high ground, I've suffered with that idea myself. What do you get when you stay on that moral high ground? But describe the victim here. Blank has taken responsibility for blank called Gamergate. He has repeatedly blankety blanked. Oh, Lord, these folks, man, when they're filling this stuff out, too. I mean, can you imagine going out on the behalf of others and filling this stuff out? Told blank and an online blank to stop harassing blank. I received a message that I screenshot not half an hour later with blank. Yeah, from what it seems, he plans on blank in Gamergate events. You wonder when you see this stuff, who would this throw under the bus, too? Is there a report out here that somebody actually didn't want to pop up, someone else is going to recognize? When they see it, they think, hey, that's X that actually said that. They're talking about me in that. What the heck? For the past few months, I've been harassed and threatened by hundreds of members of Anonymous and Gamergate for blankety blank. So Anonymous was actually threatening them too. Wow, the interesting stuff, huh? I wonder if the FBI actually knows who these folks are, right off the bat. They were like, oh yeah, that group there. We actually know who they are. Those are those people with that V for Vendetta thing, right? No offense to Anonymous either. I've seen what they can do out there. I'm just saying, do they know that? So here's a description there. 8chan is a distributor of what again? And a center for Gamergate movement, which you have an existing case on. I have heard that they're hosting it in one of their image boards, and when I went to confirm it, I was able to do so within minutes. They're currently receiving $1,400 in funding each month from a company called Patreon, which exists essentially funding and enabling, kind of distributor. When we tried to bring this to the attention after discovering this, the company declined to withhold the funding. The site has a quote-unquote rule against posting said images, but the moderator does not actually remove images and claims it would violate First Amendment. The owner of blank claims that all images and hate speech on the site are out of his control and not protected under the First Amendment. Why take that out here but not taken out of 8chan? Just wondering. So you can see that, and the coordinating of specific threats are not covered there. Even as a non-law student, I know this. Even though I only know internet law, I know that this ain't right, kids. I know that this ain't right indeed. So, like I said, there's more and more of this. We are not going to go through this whole thing. I find so much of it fascinating here. And I thought that you might too. You might actually find it fascinating that the FBI, they have opened up a lot of their notes. Again, there are hundreds of redacted, and I say redacted, I mean deleted pages that are not in this report. So there's much more there. But this gives you an idea of all the craziness that was going on. And again, we still have quite a bit that we could look at here. If you find it interesting, in fact, let me know in the comments. What do you think about this stuff? Looking at it, after the fact, this far in. Because again, we're talking, you saw the dates on the investigation. I just find it fascinating to look at, to see everything that happened there, to again, get kind of a synopsis, because I was not involved in that, and to look at what the FBI was being told. Again, this hits both sides of that too, but anyway, you tell me what you think about this stuff. Again, thank you for showing up. Thank you for participating. You make this stuff possible too. A lot of people forget that stuff. Don't want to be like that, so I always want to take that, and no matter what it is, no matter what we cover, I want to take a moment to say thank you for showing up, and we'll be doing this again soon, so keep your eyes out. Thank you.